This video is being posted tonight. I'm gonna stop fucking around. I'm gonna post this YouTube video. This dresser has been done for 5 months. I'm so embarrassed to say it's been done for 5 months. The time is now. I'm Amoko, or Green Lady Badger for long, and welcome to my channel. First order of business. This is my first YouTube video. Be nice, please. Boom, boom, shh. All right, let's get into it. I found this dresser on Facebook Marketplace for $100. Yes, $100. What an absolute steal. I know. And then I turned it into this beauty. And this video is going to walk through how I did that. First things first, we had to get that white paint off of the surface. There's a bunch of different strippers that you can use, tee-hee-hee. But this one is called Citrus Strip, and I heard that it's like less toxic than the rest of them. I'm sure they're all toxic, but I took it outside to strip it anyways. It probably stayed on for about 30 minutes, and you can see the paint start to crumble underneath it. You can definitely see when the Citrus Strip starts to lift it up. And then it's fairly simple to scrape it off. Now, when I say fairly simple, I went through this process 3 times, but that's also because this dresser has a bunch of different nooks and crannies. It has, let's just say there's levels to this shit. So yes, I went through and I stripped it again. This was by far the most tedious and the messiest part of this flip entirely. I had multiple pairs of gloves, scrapers, paint trays to dispose of the paint that came off. I felt like I got a large percentage of the paint off, so I moved to the next step of cleaning that bad boy. And again, this John was thrifted, and I was working on it outdoors, and I don't play that bug shit at all. So I was cleaning thoroughly with acetone, with Brillo pads, with rugs multiple times, inside and out, upside and down. I used a mixture of acetone, mineral spirits, and water to get the rest of the small amounts of paint off, give it a good clean. And as you can see, it came off super easy with that combination. Takes a lot of elbow grease, but the job gets done. For the parts that were too big to scrub off, I used a coarse sandpaper to sand those parts off. These middle drawers gave me such a headache. It was a pain in the fucking ass to get into those. It's a woven wicker cover on top of it. And I just couldn't get it clean. The more I scrubbed, the paint just seeped back into there. So I decided I was gonna cut that bitch out. It was over for that panel. It was a wrap. So I took a box cutter, I cut out the panel, and when I did this, I had no idea what I was gonna do next. I just knew that the panel had to go. Here, I bust out the sander. I put a very coarse sandpaper on the top of it. This is also just like a Black & Decker hand sander that I got on Amazon for like $40, nothing too serious. And again, just trying to get some more of that white paint off, smooth the edges, especially this one since I cut the sides. For the body of the dresser, oh my gosh, the body of the dresser. You probably wouldn't be able to tell by the final result of the dresser, but I love natural wood. My goal was to strip this dresser, stain the whole thing, and have it be one color. But after I stripped it and after I started sanding it, I saw some spots in there that had wood filler inside. which means that there were holes previously that the previous owner tried to fill, did fill with something called wood filler. The thing about wood filler is that you can't stain it. And so basically I had to pivot completely, but I did know that I didn't want to keep working outside. So I took the base inside while I finished sanding the drawers. At a certain point, once the grit paper gets more fine, it's hard to get into the grooves and the corners of some of these, so I switched to hand sandpaper, which is a lot more labor intensive, but it gets the job done. Then I switched back to the hand sander and put on a very coarse grit to get some of the handles and the accents on the drawers a little more smooth before I moved forward. So some of the drawers had some damage on them, and I wanted them to be symmetrical. So the 3 on the left and the 3 on the right have the same quote unquote damages, if you will. So there were certain points that there were dips and grooves, and I tried to make one side match its twin on the other side. And voila. So now we move forward to staining. This is where you can see the light at the end of the fucking tunnel. I tell you, when you get to staining, you know that you're in the clear. You're not in the mud anymore. You're not in the trenches. You are literally close to the finish line. So I went to my favorite place in the world, Home Depot, and I found this stain. I knew I wanted to go darker instead of lighter because of some of the blemishes that were on the surface. And I knew that the paint color that I chose for the surface of the drawers was going to be light, so I wanted the wood stain to kind of contrast that. I talked about this project to a lot of people. I talked to my cousin about it. I had a Facebook Marketplace pickup that gave me the suggestion actually to stain the handles and do a two-tone and paint the surface. So that's what I'm doing here. I taped up the parts that I didn't want to stain, and I'm staining certain parts of the surface of the drawers, and then I'm going to plan on painting the other parts of the drawers. And that's all to say, share your ideas with people because they have great feedback for you. Boom, painting. This is when the Gemini in me comes out and I really can't make a fucking decision. I want to go bright, I want to go dull, I want to go neutral and be a classy bitch. I settled on these 3 colors and I thought about it for a few days and settled on the yellow. Yellow with a matte finish. And I put about 3 coats of paint on each surface. The whole time I'm painting, I'm thinking about what I'm gonna do with those middle drawers. So I went to Hobby Lobby and I got some dowel rods, wooden dowel rods, which was a suggestion from my cousin. And then my neighbor across the street helped me measure and saw them to the right length so that they would fit right into those middle panels. I dipped half of the dowel rods into the stain that I used on the body of the dresser, and then I taped them up, and then I painted the other half the same yellow color that is on the surface of the dresser to give it this like two-tone situation. And the most satisfying part, taking the painter's tape off of the dresser accents. Woo! Wow. Okay, now that these little bad boys are done and as imperfect as they can be, I really had to strategize on what part faces down in the center. I used some wood glue and some pressure. Pushed it down. I measured it out before I started just to make sure they would all fit and how they would space out. But after that, it was pretty straightforward. couple hours to dry. I don't remember it being all day because I was very anxious to put this bad boy together. And now, for the moment we've all been waiting for, the grand event. A month after I purchased it on Facebook Marketplace, I finished the dresser. And another necessary moment in every creative process. Did I fuck it up or did I do a good job? The yellow honestly took a few days to grow on me, but in general, I absolutely adore this dresser. The end result was so far from what I had planned, but now that it's done, I honestly couldn't imagine it any other way. Boom, boom, bang, that's it. Thanks for watching. Leave nice comments.